This is Mrs. Raleigh, and today we're going to look at how to draw a cake, especially one that looks like it has a slice cut right out of it. We're going to be working with a cylinder shape and turning that shape into our cake design. Here's an example of what we're going to do today. We're going to start with a cake, and then we're going to make it look like a slice has been taken out of that cake. Are you ready to do some delicious art? We're going to start by drawing an oval on our page. And that's going to be the top of your cake. If you think about if you're looking at a cake, you'll see the top and you'll see the sides. I'm going to do a straight line on the very edge of the oval on both sides. Straight lines down the edge. Now I want to take a look at that curve on the top. I want to try to duplicate that same kind of curve on the bottom here. That creates a cylinder, the round top with that curved edge that matches the top. We're going to draw our cake sitting on a tray or a plate. So I'm going to draw another oval, like the plate that it's sitting on. Trying to make it so that it looks like the edges match. I'm just going to touch it up so that the oval is consistent on both sides. You'll notice I went a little bit behind the edge of the cake just so it looks like it's sitting on the plate and not teetering off the edge. I'm going to make this a cylinder too. I'm going to do those straight lines down each side and then try to match that curve going all the way around that shape. That helps our eye kind of be fooled into thinking that the shape is round. Next, I'm going to find the center of my cake. I'm going to use that as the tip of a triangle using the edge of the cake for that triangle. This is going to be the wedge that we cut out of the cake. So we have the top, then I'm going to draw a straight line down each side from that triangle on the top, straight down. Again, imagine we're taking a slice of the cake out. So there's my slice that I'm taking out. Now notice the angle here, the slope of that triangle. We want to create a triangle on the bottom that's about the same size as that one on the top. That's the top of our piece, that's the bottom. We want those to match. And I'm going to do a little bit of erasing. I'm going to just clean up that edge there because again, we're slicing that out. We wouldn't see that line because that slice would be missing. And I'm going to do a line connecting the top of those two triangles that we drew to make it look like that slice has been removed. Now, if we take a look at that same slope of that line, if we want to show like a layer inside, I'm going to try to keep that section on that same slope as my lines on the top and the bottom. It's disappearing into the cake from the front. So it's not straight. It does have an angle to it. Now, as we're trying to fool our eye into thinking that this shape is round, I'm going to do a little bit of shading. So I'm using some value from dark to light. And this just helps to fool our eye into really thinking that this shape is round. If you wanted to do a cylinder or a cake that does not have the slice out of it, you could still do the same kind of shading, just skipping those previous steps of drawing the slice. I'm going to put a little shading inside here because as the cake has that cut out of it, you would see a little bit of shadow there from the other piece of it. Then on the bottom, I put a little bit of a shadow. So to make something that's round look 3D, we do need that shading as well as a shadow. I want to make this even darker than I made the edge of my color. I want to make sure it lays flat on the plate there, so I want to keep the edges flat so it doesn't look like it's flying up next to it. I want it to look like it's sitting on the plate. I really want to get that edge though nice and dark. It just helps it to pop right off the page if that edge right along the base of the cake is nice and dark on that shadow. Now if you wanted to add candles on your cake, it's going to be the same cylinder shape. Start with an oval, two straight lines down, and then a curve on the bottom. Add a little flame on the top, and I can do just a little bit of that shading just to help make it look round as well. So really quickly go from dark to light there on that shading there. So same thing, a oval on the top, 2 straight lines right down the side of the oval, and then a curve on the bottom. It's that same process for any kind of cylinder shape that you want to draw and make look 3D. And a little bit of shading on that one too. I'm going to put just a little bit of a shadow from my candles as well. So trying to make that curve on the bottom dark and make sure the shading comes straight out so it looks like it is sitting on the cake and not flying up. And we can shade on our tray too and do a little bit of shadow on the table behind it as well. So all these details are just adding to the look of the three-dimensional look, fooling our eye, making it think that what we're seeing is not flat on the paper. Make it look like it has some form to it and is coming off the paper. I'm going to draw just a horizon line like it's sitting on a table. I want to make sure that line looks like it starts on one side and continues to the other. And there we go. We've drawn a cake. So the next step now would be to add some color. As I added the color, I made sure to keep the shading and the lines clear in there so that I don't lose that shape. So just be careful when you color that you're not losing the shape of your object. All right, have fun drawing.